Welcome back, episode 38 of Revisited, and after finishing up with Nux, just premiered it today. We're going right back into another fairy tale thing.
We needed a break.
Yeah, we could have legit did 3 of Nux's video and then that giant one. But I can't do another Nux right now.
No, I mean, we need a break for Fairy Tale Month.
But, dude, we took a 10-day break.
We need to do another video, because that was just like, yeah, we got it. That's it. That's Fairy Tale for you. That's what people think about Fairy Tale.
So, we're talking about why Natsu is a great protagonist by MysticSage.
I don't think that he's a particularly bad one. I don't think he's a particularly good one. He's not special. He's just there.
He seems like the building blocks of which to build a protagonist.
Yeah, he needs another trait or two to just be like, all right, this is what makes him different. This is what makes him better.
Because even his whole quirk of motion sickness is just a thing that Dragon Slayers go through. So it's not even something specific to him.
Mm-hmm. So it's just like, just one or two will make him selfish, make him prone to anger or something. But no, he's basically Goku, happy-go-lucky, serious guy. This, that. It's like I don't see how a video could be made about this other than just going, he cares about his friends and he's a big, strong boy and he doesn't let things get him down.
Well, let's see what he has to say.
Natsu Dragneel is one of those anime characters that you can't help but love, and people have counted him among their favorites for a long time. He's a powerful dragon slayer who's always fired up, and he's the heart and soul of the Fairy Tale Guild. In my top 5 fairy tale characters, which I did a long time ago, many people
real quick. I don't think we talked about this yet. We'll probably get a little bit more into it in the big 3-hour boy, but what is the difference between the Slayers? A God Slayer, a Dragon Slayer?
The Lacrima, or whatever.
It's just, because when you look at the Wendy versus the Wind chick, it's just like, they have basically the same abilities. It's not like she could hurt a dragon, because once she's up against a dragon, it's like, oh, she couldn't even do anything. Mm-hmm. So they can both heal. What's the difference? And you got like a god lightning slayer dude, and he gets clowned by Loxus.
So it's essentially the magic itself is the same, but there has to be a property within it that allows for dragons to be hurt or whatever.
Yeah, or is it just a name that's just like, I can use lightning to such a proficient degree that I am now a lightning, a god slayer or whatever.
I would assume they slay the actual god.
But that's not... What about the Dragon Slayers? That's just a name, because they didn't slay dragons. They don't know what happened to the dragons.
Yeah, they were just taught by dragons.
Yeah.
It's just magic that could slay a dragon. So how do they know that is magic that can slay a god? And in the history of all magic, like, there have been dragon slayers before, so of course there are dragons that can be slayed by this type of magic. Mm-hmm. When has there been a god to go, wow, that's god slayer magic?
Yes. Unless it's just a title. It's just like Dragon Slayer, God Slayer. That's just something that we'll probably get into later, but that's just a small thing.
Commented that they put him in their top 5, if not their number 1. So, for such a popular character from one of the best known anime, what is it that makes him appealing to us as an audience? Well, to start with, Natsu wears his heart on his sleeve. He's an open, honest person, and we can usually tell what he's thinking. This is a
Goku, Luffy, Naruto, Asta, Yusuke,
Kenichi, Ippo.
It's you need to start off strong with something like this. Start off with something that you can't just go, all right, that's something that everybody else got. What else you got?
How about, you say, these are the traits of Natsu, but you can apply this to everyone else. So here's why he's special.
Or, he wears his heart on his sleeve, but so does Goku. But he does so more, as evidenced by this, contrasted to this.
Yes. As time goes on, Goku less so wears his heart on his sleeve and just becomes like this fight man, whereas Natsu stays consistent, and if anything else, wears his heart on his sleeve even more as time goes on.
I hope he doesn't say all of that in 10 seconds.
Particular trait for main characters to have, and it's important for us to know that we can trust him. We can get invested in his relationships and the plans he makes because we know that he's not going to turn around and do something cruel or deceptive. Honesty is a likable trait to have in real life too, so it makes sense to me that this is something that people love about Natsu. His straightforward personality also shows in his fighting style, with his fire powers being purely offensive and
Okay, so that's just it. Other people do this, but Natsu also do this.
Yeah, and that's why it's good, because it's been proven that this is why people like these types of characters, and Natsu is the type of character. So in turn, this is one of the things that make him great.
I mean, I guess he's not arguing for uniqueness. He's just arguing for great. So,
but if you've got 15 things and they're all basically the same, and they're all technically quote unquote great, then aren't all of them not great? Since great would be above the level of the norm.
Yes, but I can also see it as you also need to take the things around them to factor into how great they are. Because if you line 15 pizzas across the table, I'm be like, where is this pizza from? Because I'm not touching the Little Caesars one.
Oh, you crazy.
The Little Caesars is so mid.
Yes, mid, but...
Okay, I'm not touching the Little Caesars first.
You crazy.
What?
Throw Domino's at the bottom.
Domino's! Oh, okay, we're going to have to do this one day, but whatever. Insert whatever pizza brand you wish here. I am not going for that.
Oh, no, never mind. Happy's.
Happy's, yeah.
Yeah, throw Happy's at the bottom.
Fun. They're thimble full of sauce.
And their crust so thin. It's just full of grease. And it's just grease.
But yeah, that's how I feel about that. It's like, just we need something more unique, because he's going right into fire with a straightforward fighting style, which can be good, but it's not, because there was a certain part in the was it the Phantom Lore? Or not the Phantom Lore, the one where they were trying to kidnap Lucy, the early one with the big cannon.
Yeah.
He fights a dude that eats fire, that uses fire, and it's just like, whoa, you can't hurt me. I'm a fireman, and then he just does. I'm like, well, okay.
His straightforward personality also shows in his fighting style, with his fire powers being purely offensive and very head-on, which is a really cool way.
It's only purely offensive because he's never really thought about a way to use them defensively.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can make like a fire shield, but his abilities were kind of retcon, because in the very first arc, there was a dude and he's just like, oh no, I'm falling off a bridge, and then he makes like a big old fire.
Oh
hand.
yeah.
Never does that again.
Offensive and very head-on, which is a really cool.
Not necessarily retcon, but nerfed.
Yeah. Or just like, where can I go from here? So he just like, let's just push this in the background. And that's fine, because sometimes people just like, I'm still trying to exactly figure out their abilities and everything. If you look at the episode 1 of like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 3, Jotaro has a bunch of things in his cell, things that he should not have, because Star Platinum has such a limited range. And then how could he get a motorcycle into his cell? Mm-hmm. He can't phase it through the wall. So it's just like, I'm still trying to figure out exactly where to go. So it's fine that he just sort of forgot about that. But
yeah, that's why I forgive things like Part 1 and Part 3, because Part 3 is just the beginning of stands and he's still figuring things out. Mm-hmm. So some of the stands are kind of and some of the fights are kind of because he's still figuring things out.
Purely offensive and very head-on, which is a really cool way to show that side of his character. Being such an honest person, Natsu is also an incredibly loyal friend.
Fights are done. It's very straightforward, and
I guess it was more so that it just kind of bleeds into that's all personality thing, and so is.
You think he's going to come back to fight?
Absolutely.
Okay.
He's also an incredibly loyal friend. He cares about his friends and fellow guild members more than anything, which of course is something we can admire. Underneath this loyalty is a good nature and a strong sense of justice. So when Natsu
justice? Can't really see that. He's more so just like, don't f with my friends.
Yeah. No. There was that girl that was made to bow naked in the
oh yeah, he was
arc.
super mad about that thing.
And didn't even know her really. So,
but Natsu is also the type of person where it's just like, you know, we dapped it up, so now we're friends.
Also true.
Sense of justice. So when Natsu succeeds, it always means that good wins over evil. And seeing Natsu have such strong and interesting relationships with the other characters means we care about those characters too.
Okay, we care about the characters simply because we care about Natsu and not caring about the characters themselves.
He might be saying that we care more about them.
All right, let's hear it again.
Wins over evil. And seeing Natsu have such strong and interesting relationships with the other characters means we care about those characters too. The fairy...
She would have said more. I wish that would have been fire.
Yeah, that would have proved your point, but that's not what he said.
Because I just had a debate with this dude with themes and stuff, and it was just like, if you'd have added one more word or one more sentence or 3 more words, we wouldn't even be talking right now. You need to clarify what you mean when you say things like this.
Means we care about those characters too. The fairy tale guild is like his family. Whether it's Mira Jane mothering him, his sibling rivalry with Gray, or treating Wendy like his little sister. It's heartwarming when we see them together and how much they love Natsu, especially as he's been with them for such a long time. However, he is sometimes selfish, such as when Fairy Tail disbanded and he didn't tell anyone where he was going. He also has a habit of jumping into...
Didn't he leave and then Fairy Tail was disbanded?
I think?
Yeah, it definitely happened that way because he came back and he was like, hey, where's Fairy Tail?
Yep.
And they were like, well, we broke up. And he was like, no, we didn't.
And that may be seen as selfish, but it also could be seen as, I'm only going to go train up there for 2 months or something.
Or it could even be seen as, you know, I think he did tell somebody, I think it was even Lucy, yeah.
Got a note that wasn't exactly like, I'm going here for this long, but it was, I'm going to go train.
But that's not necessarily a selfish thing to be like, you know, I'm going on this journey. I'll meet back up with you guys in the future. That's not necessarily selfish just because you want to go on a journey by yourself.
And just because you don't tell anybody where you're going exactly, because you might not even know where you're going.
He has a habit of jumping into things without thinking about the consequences, or how it'll affect his teammates. Not always being a considerate friend makes him less of a black and white character, which
That's an odd statement.
And can you say the same thing for almost any shonen protag?
I guess. I've never really thought about it in such words.
But there are so many times where it's just like, hey, if you had did this, like Luffy is just a plan ruiner and they've just accepted it at this point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's one of those things where it's just like, this dude, does he think that all other, because he's already compared and contrast with other ones kind of, but does he think that all other ones are just like flawless? Because he's like, yeah, his reckless nature leads to this, and he's not black, it leads to a black and white sort of thing. So at this point, it's just like you can sort of slot in almost any protagonist and switch out some names. It's almost the exact same video.
That's why I'm like, I don't. He's just saying what every other shonen protag is. So if you got 15 shonen protags lined up and they're all the same, is any of them really great? Which was my point with the whole pizza thing.
is way more interesting than a character who's flawless. We know that it's
such as
there is no character out there that is without flaw.
Yeah. I got into it with somebody in the comments once, and he was just like, such and such is a ReZero as Subaru. Subaru is not a flawless character, and that's why I like him. I'll go, who is a flawless character? He had mentioned Sword Art already. I'm like, all right, let me research Kirito so I can learn his flaws. No, I was just, because that's an easy one to go to. So I'm just like, I want to have Kirito in my back pocket for when he says this, so I can figure out his flaws. But I'm thinking about it like, what character? You could probably say Sailor Moon outside of Usagi, Just the transformation?
Post-transformation
Yes.
Sailor Moon, flawless? I wouldn't even say that because she's kind of selfish.
I tried. Because, like, really? That's such a... People use it as a point of praise when it's just like, this is such a normal thing. Who really cares? Mm-hmm. Oh, this restaurant served me water. Like, yeah, of course. Why are you praising the restaurant for that?
Now, you're probably going to get people that say somebody like Superman, who is meant to be seen as flawless, which is, he himself is also not flawless. So I really don't know what in the world is a flawless character that is even a protagonist. Not even a protagonist, just like a side character.
What?
Maybe a joke flawless character, maybe?
What is Rock Lee's flaw? He's too hardworking?
He's a bit creepy. With the Sakura thing, with the blowing kisses and stuff, he's a bit creepy.
He's a bit headstrong to take you on. He's reckless.
Definitely reckless.
Because he just went, I'm going to pop these gates. I'm going to go after Kimimaru. Yeah, I'll go with reckless. I tried. Yeah. I was thinking like, yeah, maybe. But no.
Hinata?
She's too single-minded.
How so? You mean with the Naruto thing?
Yes. When Naruto and Kiba got post their fight, Kiba was laid out, literally being stretchered away. And Naruto's like, yeah, I won! And he's pumping his fist and stuff. And she goes, here you go, Naruto, here's this ointment. And then she has to catch Kiba as they're wheeling them away. Like, wait, I got this ointment for Kiba. She went after Naruto first.
Okay, she didn't go after Naruto first.
Yes, she did.
He walked past her as she was up on the balcony.
Whatever.
And then she went, hey, here for you too.
Oh, you Kiba, my teammate.
I forgot they're literally wheeling you out right now.
Because you can't move. Maybe this Hyuga's secret ointment will help.
Please use it. And why don't we already have that for all medical personnel?
I got some left over after I gave him the Naruto.
I think I got... this is going to be enough to heal all his broken bones, right? She got 2 fingers worth.
Just dabbing it.
What is way more interesting than a character who's
pause. She lacks confidence.
Absolutely. But then she also gains confidence. So once you Giorno.
No! Because he was a con artist. He does not care for the well-being of others.
He does care for the well-being.
He does not care about the well-being for some people. Because he let Leaky Eye Luca hit him with a shovel when he knew that.
But he told him not to.
No, he could have been like, look, if you hit me with the shovel, look, first off, it's my stand. Oh, you can't see him. Look at that rock over there. I'm going to make it float. I got a magical power. If you hit me, it's going to reflect back to you. I guarantee you. Check this out. And he pokes the frog, and then Leaky Eye Luca gets poked. He's like, did you feel that? All right, if you hit me with the shovel, your head's going to get concaved. I'm warning you here and now because I am a good person.
And
but he didn't say that.
He
didn't say all that.
He said, don't hit the frog. I'm telling you.
That's not enough. That's not enough. You need further explanation.
You can't go above and beyond just to be flawless. He tried to warn him. How is that a flaw?
Okay, but wouldn't... Because that could just be seen as...
Okay, hold on. So, to be flawless, you have to care about every single person in the world ever?
I would say so.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Because we literally had this argument when we were looking at Oceanus' video, and you were like, okay, he gains experience, so what is his flaw?
He's ruthless.
He's not.
He didn't have to 7-page Muda him. He could have hit him once.
He didn't have to?
No, he didn't.
Okay. He could have hit him once. How do we know that would have put him down? Since he's already gotten up like 2 or 3 times from things that should have put him down. And then when they were like, hey, let's cap the boss now that after Gold Experience Requiem, he was like, yeah, I don't think he's getting up, so there's no need for all that.
He was a thief.
Yes.
And he does not repent. He does not go, those thievery ways were wrong. And
is a mother flawed because she can't buy food for her kid and steals it from a store?
They would 100% go to jail.
Yes. Because they broke the law.
Yes.
But are they a flawed person for doing that?
Yes.
I don't think
still
so.
stealing. You can find ways to get money. No, I'm not going to throw her in jail, lock her up. That bread wasn't worth it. 20 years. I'm going, there are ways to get money.
Enough money to support her kid, and buy the food?
I mean, it's $2 for bread.
A baby? Formula. But diapers.
Formulas. Oh, boy.
Diapers and all that crap.
Oh, boy. That's desperation. We did not see desperation from Gio. We have no reason why he was scamming people. He's not like, now I can finally pay for college or whatever.
He's probably
he's living alone.
Yes, he's living alone. He's got no family. He's got this one small little apartment.
Does he go to school?
As far as I know, no. So this is probably all he does to eat.
Dang. Okay. That happened. Righteously standing up for Mario. Kills Popo. He kills Babyface to stop them from being tracked again.
Yep.
No.
No what?
No.
No what?
There has to be something.
Oh, dude. Don't do this.
Wait a second. Okay. That happens. And then they meet up with the group. We're here. He's very polite.
He's so polite.
He throws himself in the hole so that Moody Blue shows his power because he's like, we need your...
He let himself get poisoned.
What? Okay, I'm looking this up.
Oh my god, we don't really need to look up those.
No. I need to look this up because this is useful for future arguments. Because now we can say there is a perfect character.
They didn't say perfect, I said flawless.
Flawless, whatever. Giorgio's flaws. Please give me something. Please. I can't take this.
It's going to be like Pornhub. You're going to have to go to page 76. That one video, I need it.
This is exactly what I was looking for.
You're going to bust in at 7 a.m. Hey, I found it.
Is boring a flaw?
No. Because that's just a personal interest of you as the audience. Because there are people that find him interesting. Is mayonnaise a flaw?
Are you serious?
I'm sure there's going to be somebody in the comment that says, here's a flaw.
Dude!
He's really looking this up. He's on Reddit, all types of We don't need to do this. We're talking about Fairy Tail, but here he is. He came so close, he made the face of taken, and then exasperated as he countered his own argument in his head. Dang, so very close.
Dude!
What's the problem?
People are just saying stuff that I said.
That has already been countered.
Dude, whatever. Well, I'll amend this in the comments. I'll just be like, hey, I found one.
I hope you do.
We know that his intentions are good, but can't expect him to be perfect. And that is what I call great storytelling.
See, that's a problem.
Are you serious?
Your main character isn't perfect, so that's great storytelling. That opens up so many holes. That opens up so many
Because we
doors.
just had a whole thing of, is there a flawless character? And as far as we know, there's only one in history.
No, there's not. I'll prove it.
But that's not great storytelling.
Yeah, absolutely not. You can do great stories within it, but just having a flawed character does not equal great storytelling. ReZero Subaru is very flawed, but he is very terrible. I don't care.
Yeah. And people are just still excusing it.
Yeah, and going back to everything else, when you say such vagaries like that, at that point, any character can be good under the lens of they have a flaw.
But can't expect him to be perfect. And that is what I call great storytelling. His reckless behavior is played for laughs too. Natsu is often given the role of the comic relief character due to his hot-headed and fiery personality.
Everyone is.
Yes, everyone is a foil at some point. Mm-hmm. Everybody that has any amount of importance in Fairy Tail has times where they are the foil.
Yeah, this is not praiseworthy.
He's always ready for a fight, and paired with Gray, who's down to beat him up any time, this is a constant source of comedy. Natsu is also one of those characters whose facial expressions are exaggerated, so we know when to not take him too seriously.
Dude, this is not possible. What is this? He makes weird faces, so he's a great character.
Yeah, so we know not to take him too seriously in this moment.
Robin is a straight woman in One Piece, and she made one of the best faces ever in One Piece. Kid and Law are straight characters, and they made hilarious faces.
Fantastic.
This means nothing.
Even though
Gio is defiant.
Defiant to what?
He doesn't follow orders sometimes.
Follows orders for what?
The boss. I mean, for Bruno.
Like what?
Abakio is his noted senior.
Uh-huh.
And he goes, Fugo, we getting what we came here for. And he goes, no, I refuse.
Is it a flaw to abandon your mission?
I did it for a good reason!
To save a person? Sir?
No, okay, fine.
Too seriously. Even though some people may find this kind of comedy a bit annoying after a while, I think it's balanced enough with the show's serious moments to continue to be funny. And
comedy is a very subjective thing. Mm-hmm. You understand this? It's a problem when things get repeated and not expanded on. Him just going, I am sick because we are moving, is the same joke over and over and over again with no change up or very little change up. Now, this works for somebody like Brooke because he is insane.
He's a crazy person.
He hasn't had talks with people for so long. So, of course, he's going to ask to see women's underwear. And that's going to be funny. Because he's just like, this is Brooke's personality. Of course he's going to make these dumb bone jokes because he finds them funny. And it's not the same joke over and over again. That's excusable. But this is just, Natsu gets sick. Oh, and now Loxus is sick. He's a serious character, but he's sick as well. Oh, now look, Wendy is sick, but she wasn't sick before. But now since her dragon powers were up to a certain level, now she gets sick, and now she's sick. And now that's funny as well.
I personally don't find the stuff like that funny. Whereas I will find Zoro getting lost all the time funny.
Character who gets fired up at a moment's notice is a staple in anime, and that definitely contributes to Natsu's popularity. Due to the frequently comical nature of Natsu's role in the story, his weaknesses might be seen as somewhat superficial, particularly his motion sickness. It doesn't have a really big impact on the story, and when I first saw it, I thought it was too minor to offset its strength. The other side of this, though, is that motion sickness ties together all the Dragon Slayers, being a weakness they all share, and it
They never explain why, though.
Nope.
And it's a problem because it's apparently some sort of tier-based thing. Because Wendy never got sick, but then they established that, now that she is enough of a Dragon Slayer or using enough powers or whatever, now she is getting motion sick.
So it's definitely got something to do with the
threshold of your power.
And do God Slayers exhibit some type of weakness? Not motion sickness,
but something comparable. For some reason.
Like can't swim or something.
This is just like, bleh. And then it's certain things because he goes, oh no, I'm on this boat, but he can fly with Happy. He's like, because I don't consider you a vehicle. So is it vehicles?
As opposed to the motion itself.
Yes. If he just got turned into a robot, Eden Zero, and started flying, literally Happy in that Eden Zero. Same name too. Looks the same as well.
They named him Happy?
You don't know?
I'm about to read Eden Zero, so
no.
Yes. I don't need to look it up because I'm gonna be reading it soon. It's the next thing I'm reading after Naruto. I'm in Boruto. Yeah, I know what he looks like. I didn't know his name was Happy.
No, it's just Happy.
Okay.
So yeah, why is it only things that you consider a vehicle? Or because it's motion sickness. I remember he was he can be on the top of giant monsters as well. Mm-hmm. It's supposed whatever.
How solid Natsu's bond is with Happy, because the only time he doesn't get sick is when Happy's carrying him. So even things that don't seem like that big of a deal at one point in the story can turn out to be important.
Okay, pause. So you said that this was due to their bond. So can he just choose not to be sick? Can he go,
I love you, Bike?
Yes.
You are my friend, Bike.
Thank you for this gift, Lucy. I shall treasure it. And it's one of them magic sucking carts. Is he not sick there? It's a problem because it's not explained in the story. It's just this thing that happens.
Why something as trivial as motion sickness is worth considering when it comes to Natsu's character.
And that has nothing to do with his character. That has something to do with all the other Dragon Slayers as well.
Continuing on flaws and weaknesses, Natsu is the type of character that sometimes makes mistakes, whether it's...
Look, this is well established. There's only one character that doesn't make mistakes, all right? We got it. This is not a point of praise. We got it. Just don't with this.
Makes mistakes, whether it's caused by his impulsiveness or just being a bit of an idiot. He's been known to make the occasional error that causes problems for him. It's not just that he's sometimes overpowered by an incredibly strong opponent, but that his own judgment of a situation isn't always perfect. For example, during the Adolis arc, Natsu doesn't understand how limited magic is here, and ends up wasting it. However, he is sometimes exceptionally clever, coming up with...
But pause. What happened? But there's a lot of times where his impulsiveness just leads to a victory. Like the Tower of Heaven arc, where he just goes, eat the stones, and you're good. It's just like... It worked out.
Battle that his adversaries aren't able to counter. He thinks outside of the box, which at times works to his advantage.
Hey, Natsu, power up, please.
You got it. Rah! Get some of this, Loxus.
Hey, Natsu, eat this thing.
You got it. Rah! Eat some of this, Jalal. Not Jalal.
Jalal was part of it too. The Ether Nano. The big rock?
Yeah. Was it Jalal? Because I keep saying I always get mixed up with these names.
Yeah, you're talking about Jalal. You're not talking about Gajio.
Gajio.
No, Jalal, yep.
Yeah. So
and then he ate Loxus too, so, that over there too. So and then the Golden Fire.
Yep. And then Golden Fire, here you go. It's like, who could care at this point? Oh, here's my outsparting you. I got the remnants of Igneal's fire in my arm, and I'm just gonna punch you with that remnants of fire.
To his advantage, and other times to his detriment. Having a balance of intelligence and stupidity, as well as being a bit avant-garde in his thinking, keeps Natsu from getting boring. We know he's not infallible, and that he has flaws, so even though we're pretty sure he'll win in the end, we don't know how we'll do it.
He'll eat something.
Yeah, and then he will, or he'll just be like, Natsu, you're so strong.
I've always known you were strong.
Just do it. Just like, just do it.
Natsu, you doing it? Are you doing the thing? Yeah, I'm doing it. Are you doing the thing, Natsu? Yes, I'm doing it. Oh, I've done it.
Because let's look at the major fights. You got the first one was what was it in the big tube arc? Gagio. He ate. Wendy was just like, here is some fire from one of my summons. Eat this, and he did, and then he won.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on to Tower of Heaven. Eat this rock. Moving on to Loxus. Eat. No, you're just strong. Though.
You're just strong.
You're just like the really big and strong one. Moving on to the Irration Says. How did that end?
Was it Golden Fire? Was that the Golden Fire one?
I think that was. That might have been the Golden Fire.
Regardless, he eats a lot.
That's the point here.
He eats things and he gets strong, and that's how the vast majority of his things end.
Yeah, there's no like how will he defeat this dude? It's like no.
There's no ingenuity.
He'll find a way. Somebody will give him something and he'll do it.
Will one of the other guild members have to save him? Will it all turn out to be a part of a weirdly genius plan? Or will he accidentally figure out how to boost his own powers?
That's a problem. When was the ingenious plan? When was that? There was a good team up in the Hades arc where they were all just like, let's just kick Natsu over here and then fly him over here and then launch him over here so he get that momentum so he can punch harder. That was pretty good. That wasn't him though. What ingenious plan are you talking about? Because most of them are just punch monkey stuff. He came back to the Grand Magic Games after that year of training, and they were just like, these are the champions. They won this entire team. And he just comes up and just fires them, and then he just wins.
Y'all done.
He beat an entire team easily.
We don't know.
The winning team.
And
the
that's
best
interesting.
Team.
It keeps us watching, and it's actually pretty fun. Another important point for Natsu that's really well done is his backstory. It starts out kind of sad, as we first believe, along with him, that he was abandoned by Dragneel, and we learn that he wants to find him. As the story grows, so does his backstory.
I never believed that because they set up the mystery of all the dragons disappearing on 777. So it's not like they all chose to abandon him. It's like something happened on this day.
Yeah, it was a weird thingy.
Yeah, I never believed that he was abandoned. Especially after seeing all the flashbacks of how close they were, and then hearing the same things from Wendy and Gagil and all of them. I'm just like, no, something definitely happened.
Twists and turns that keeps us on our toes. There's a lot of sadness and intrigue to the story, which contrasts with Natsu's warm and excitable personality. With such a complex history, he goes from being almost a stock protagonist at the start to a complicated character we all want to root for. And while Natsu wants to know more about himself, we're along for the ride with him. And there were moments that honestly had me shocked.
He goes from a stock protagonist to someone that we all want to root for. Can we not root for stock protagonists, first off? And second off, you didn't explain how he evolved into that.
Protagonist at the start to a complicated character.
Complicated.
Contrasts with Natsu's warm and excitable personality. With such a complex history, he goes from being almost a stock protagonist at the start to a complicated character we all want to root for.
So because he had a sad past, it's complex and complicated? He himself is complicated?
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't think he meant the sad past exactly. He just goes... Because he showed Natsu in the beginning, and now he's showing him post-time skip. So he somehow went from this happy-go-lucky dude to this complex dude right now.
But he was still happy-go-lucky.
Yes, he was. But he was also complex.
How?
Yes. He said it, not me. I don't know. I still can't think of a Father Geo.
We're along for the ride with him. And there were moments that honestly had me shocked. I don't want to spoil anything major for those of you who haven't seen all the way to the end, but if you have watched most of this series, I'm sure you can think of a few plot points that surprised you about Natsu's history. So a rich and well...
So the thing that he's talking about is that Natsu is END.
END.
How is a plot point absent of his involvement something that makes him a great protagonist? Luffy is a D, but that doesn't make him a good character.
Him being a good character makes him a good character.
Developed backstory makes for compelling characters, and the way Natsu's story is
drawn.
Wait, what did he just say?
I don't like that.
That surprised you about Natsu's history. So a rich and well-developed backstory makes for compelling characters.
It's not rich and well developed. This dragon raised me and taught me how to use magic, and then he disappeared one day.
And then I walked into Fairy Tale like, hey, what up? And here I am. And that's also not necessarily. I you know, somebody like Brooke was fantastic before. Well, I guess he wasn't rich and developed. Robin. She had her own motives and everything, and yeah, there's characters that we can name like this. Like Fujin in Reed Flame of Rekka people. What was her backstory? She just wanted to beat up Rekka. But she's still fantastic. Not like she had any tragedy in her back story or anything.
Yeah, you don't need a past isn't required for development. You can develop in the present and the future.
And the way Natsu's story is revealed slowly over the course of the whole series means that the longer...
I see what you mean about this drawing. It's like his left arm looks real weird. Either his left or his right arm looks really weird.
Something like this is like, where is the light source coming from? You can't say that it's coming from the right because his right arm is also in shadows. And the under part of his left... No, that's his left arm. The under part of his right arm is in light, but the top and the middle is like... It just seems like... And the little kid ain't in it at all.
Yeah, I was about to say, he's not in shadow.
Yeah, this is just a, wow, this is so awesome.
Is revealed slowly over the course of the whole series means that the longer we stay with him, the more depth he has. It's like getting to know a friend over a few years you've already attached because of all the time you've spent together. So when you find out something unexpected about them, it has even more emotional impact than if you'd known about it from the start. Many of Natsu's emotional moments also come from those times when he's been knocked back in apparent defeat. It looks like that's it, when suddenly he comes back and wins the day. As one of the strongest characters in anime, Natsu is a king of comebacks. For some people, this can come...
It's good that he is almost defeated, and then he is no longer almost defeated, and then he wins.
Great character.
Wouldn't it be something like this? Like he accepts his flaws, like that moment that Gildarts was just like, you trying to beat me, you trying to be an S-class wizard, but this is what you got to do, and he does his power, and Natsu's just like, oh crap, I can't do nothing, and he submits, and then Gildarts just like, good, that's exactly what you need to know when you're in over your head,
and then he can move on to the next round or whatever.
That's a lesson. Just like that's something that you should bring up. I'm like, that's a good moment.
Is a bit too overpowered, but it's one of those things that Fairy Tail fans love about him. It's fun to wait.
Come on now,
you love that he's overpowered.
You can't go. People have a problem with him being overpowered, but the fans love it.
So how could it possibly be a problem?
That doesn't address the fact that it's a problem. It just addresses the fact that people are okay with it. That means nothing. I don't care what people think.
Come across as a bit too overpowered, but it's one of those things that Fairy Tail fans love about him. It's fun to wait and see what else he has up his sleeve after it seems like the end. And we get to witness some incredible moves when his back is against a wall. Over the series, he gets such a huge variety of powers, all linked to his origins as a dragon slayer with his fire specialty. And the more he adds to his pool of attacks, the more engaging the fights become. Not only that, but as viewers, we know we can rely on Natsu.
Chris asked me this when I first started watching, and I still don't know the answer. He goes, which is stronger, the dual Dragon Slayer mode or the Dragon Force mode? They are both just, I now have more power.
Force sounds like more...
It's just more of your element. You just get bigger fire and hotter fire. In the games, they have different property. The game is terrible, by the way. But in the game, it's just
I thought it was mediocre.
Did I say that?
You said it was a JRPG.
Okay, yes. It is a JRPG. Maybe I soured on it, but It's pretty poor. But yeah, some of them are just like, this takes out a square of enemies, and this takes out a line with a little cross at the top, but it's stronger. You go, okay. But that's about all I got. And I still don't know the answer. It's like, why? Okay, let me go into my Lightning Fire mode as opposed to my Dragon Slayer mode. Why?
Maybe you soured on it after playing Yakuza.
Maybe that was it.
But as viewers, we know we can rely on Natsu to pull through and eventually triumph. Again, it's safe for us to invest our feelings in him because we know he won't let us down. And that side of good will win in the end. While it can't...
But he has. He couldn't beat Gildark. The arc right before the time skip, his Igneo had to come out and fight the big
because
villain.
he was through.
He was donezo. Hades, they couldn't beat Hades. Makarov had to come up after Acnologia. That was another one. There's a bunch of people where he was just outclassed.
Not knowing whether someone will die or live through a fight, Fairy Tail is not often that kind of anime. It's about family, cool magic, and doing what's right. So it's more fitting for the themes of the series that we have a strong comeback.
Themes. This was a 7. It's now an 8.
I don't care what is. You say that it's not about people dying. It's about family and blah blah blah. Does that make it good?
One Piece is good absent of a bunch of characters dying.
You said nothing to its quality. You just said that's what it's about. It ain't trying to do this thing, but it's about this thing.
Cool magic and doing what's right. So it's more fitting for the themes of the series that we have a strong comeback character like Natsu to keep us and the story safe. He might not be the first character you think of when I say character development, but Natsu's growth throughout the 9 seasons of Fairy Tail has been fun to watch. As the stakes have gotten higher, we've seen...
His growth is fun to watch. Not that it's good, but that you're having enjoyment watching him grow.
Aren't you?
No.
I want to see how he explains the character development. I don't really care about character development, but you stated that it's a positive. It's fine.
Really? You don't care about it, period, or Natsu?
No, I don't care about... It doesn't make or break something for me.
But you're a character, man.
Yeah.
How can it...
Yeah.
You know what? I'm more plot, so I do need more development.
Yeah. Characters can be stationary. I like a lot of slice of life stuff, and most of them are just like they'll get changed in one way or another. But it's nothing like, oh my goodness, everything I thought was flipped. And I don't. It's nothing too major for me. It's again seasoning.
I just realized how differently we dress. Your full pants, hoodie, socks on.
How about that?
I got shorts and a short sleeve shirt.
Like Natsu,
and I'm still too warm.
And the story's safe. He might not be the first character you think of when I say character development, but Natsu's growth throughout the 9 seasons of Fairy Tail has been fun to watch. As the stakes have gotten higher, we've seen him become more serious and grown up. He accepts more responsibility for his guildmates, only getting more protective of them as time goes on. His powers have grown too, and with his
he got more serious. What led to that? Him getting more serious? You didn't explain that. He cares more for his guild, but how can you care more for them than what you already have?
Yeah, I was about to say, was he a 9 before and now he's a 10?
Yeah,
was he 9.9 and now he's a 10?
What evidence do you have for that? If somebody was just like, I'm gonna blow a Fairy Tail, he would be like, no, I'm gonna stop you before and after time skip. Doesn't really matter.
We slowly get more context for why he is the way that he is.
And his powers
but
grew as
through all
well.
of that, the fundamentals of his character are still the same. He remains loyal and caring towards his Fairy Tail family. He keeps his sense of justice, and he finishes the series with the same positive excitement he started out with. I hate to say it again. Watching Natsu in this show is like growing up with a friend. Even though we see him change and develop over time, he's still the same old Natsu at the end of the day in the best way possible.
Is there any main protagonist that's just like, this is a completely different character? Other than somebody like Eren.
Subaru.
Not really.
I can't believe him now.
What do you mean?
All his happy-go-luckiness stuff. I no longer think that's who he is. Because I've seen who he really is when it gets down to brass tacks. Mm-hmm. So this seems like a front or a mask.
But it was kind of always a mask, because if you remember back in the when he was a butler, he was just like, "Hey, I'm happy-go-lucky," and then he would throw up because he was overworking himself.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of always a mask.
Okay.
I'm going Aaron.
A long series, it's no wonder we get so attached to him and his misfit family. The final thing I want to say about Natsu is that he's just really cool. Fire powers are cool, dragons are cool, his design is cool, he's a badass fighter who gets some of the best lines in the show, he respects his opponent's power, and he never backs down from a tough situation.
He's cool.
It's so easy to love a character who radiates power and coolness, because we want to be that awesome, and we want to be friends with someone who's that awesome. Maybe this isn't the deepest point I'll ever make, but it has to be said. Natsu is just undeniably a cool character.
You cannot deny his coolness.
Mm-hmm. I guess not.
Hey, he's lame. Throw him into jail.
I'd say that covers why everyone loves Natsu Dragneel.
No, that's not what your title is. Why is he a great protagonist?
He's a complex and compelling character.
Yo, you didn't explain the complexities.
And complex does not equate to good. Get a Rubik's Cube with 97 colors. Is it
Is it fun?
Is it a good Rubik's Cube? Just because it's complex.
Admirable qualities, who's come to be like a good friend to all of us fairy tale fans. What do you think, though? Let me know in the comments if Natsu is one of your favorites and why.
Dragon Ball Avatar.
Thank you so much for watching, and be sure to leave a like if you enjoyed the video.
Totally mark
I'm
not-
MysticSage, and I will catch you in the future with more anime content.
Totally Not Mark got the same one, and it's just another, it's Gohan face, but it's a little bit different. The style of Dragon Ball is so bad that it's just all
limited
just Goku, Gohan, and Vegeta face. Yeah, like a -8.
Yeah, definitely. He lost a point with that whole theme part.
Yeah, he didn't really say anything. He knows to compare and contrast, but he didn't say anything that makes Natsu special. He didn't say anything that Luffy would not do, or how he jumps faster into a fight. If there was something like 2 forks in a row, here's your daddy over here, and here's Wendy getting tortured over here. Here's what Naruto would do, and here's what Natsu would do. That'd be better. But this is just so evergreen that it's just like not really a point in making this, because a lot of this stuff we see. He's fun loving. He's goofy. He's serious. He's strong. When push comes to shove, he's getting stuff done. Yeah, we got it. We got it, homie. It's nothing really. Yeah, I honestly don't see what the point of this video was.
Yeah, -8.
And I'm curious about the comments of just like, you right.
Oh yeah, I had to look at the comments before I was like, let's do this. It was a you right.
Okay.
It was basically like nobody gets Natsu, and this is why he's so amazing, and it's more just feel goodery, like all of us in a circle.
Yeah, we like fairy tale. This is a video praising fairy tale, so good job.
Everybody just high-fiving the person next to them till it gets back to them. Yeah, Natsu, yeah.
I did it. We did it.
Natsu did it. Family, yeah. Themes, yeah. Fairy tale, yeah.
Them themes out of here. I'm glad that I got to talk to a theme monster. Very eye-opening.
Was it?
It was, actually.
Okay.
It's getting into the... Because we haven't really gotten to talk to one of them.
We haven't talked to a single theme monster in a complete back and forth where it's just like, we're talking.
Yeah, and it's like, wow, this is really what you think, huh? Well, good for you, then.
Is it good for them, though?
If
It's okay, good for them if that's how you think. But if you're trying to be analytical, not good for you.
Yeah, that's... big problem, but
because if it all just boils down to it's good because of things or it's bad because of things, terrible. But if you're like you're reviewing something that's like, you know, the theme of this tied into it, and it's just a part of what you that shapes how you feel about that thing, fine. But if you're going it's good and or bad because of themes or thematic whatever, no, not good for you.
lush.
Okay, so I guess we're out of here. Fairy Tale Month continues.
Woefully.